Come on, Scoop, plotting on some change with my dudes. Really, that's the only thing we do. Talking about the game and how to move. We gon' keep it realer than the news. Still with all my brothers from the roots. All about the check, not the shoes. Bet that I'm gon' learn if I lose. Got a lot to earn and to prove. Yeah, they count me out, but it's cool. I'ma show you how to make it through. It's the Scoop, yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Benny. I'm here with a super special episode of the Sturmer Scoop today. I got the one and only Q-Rich. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
With all those notes, bird is.
We're here in New York City for the draft 2024. Shout out to the Knuckleheads. They had a crazy event today. Definitely go check that out. First question I got, man, just tell me a little bit about how you got into basketball.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, for me, my mom was a basketball player, you know what I'm saying? She won a state championship at Marshall on the west side of Chicago, legendary high school. Dorothy Gators was her teammate. She's a superstar. But I mean, obviously, Cabby Pondexter came out of there, and she was the person to put the ball in my hand. I mean, unfortunately, I lost her at 12 years old. Yeah. But definitely, she's the reason I played basketball, the reason that I grew up wanting to, be a three-point champ. She loved the three-point shot. She called it the trifecta. And, I was 6, 7 years younger than my oldest brother, well, my closest brother in age. So, obviously, I never got a chance to get out there on the court with them. So, she would come out there after all of the big kids left and still rebound for me, shoot with me. And she really put the basketball in my hand and gave me the love of the game.
Shout out, mama. So, when did you realize, you were making noise in the country, individually?
For me, in the country, it became between my junior and senior year. That summer, going to NBA camp at Princeton, from there to Nike camp in Indiana, and then from there just with my AAU team, the Warriors, going around the country after that, Peach Jam and all that stuff. That was the summer that really cemented me as a top 10, top 5 player in the country. And yeah, that was when I knew, at that point, after I came from Nike camp, my coach, Larry Butler, he called me into his room. I remember we was on an AAU trip in Columbus, and he was like, yo, it's going to be such and such NBA teams there. And at that point, I remember walking back to the room and telling D. Gates and Cordell, my teammates D. Gates and Cordell Henry, I was like, yo, he said it's going to be NBA scouts here. At that point, in my mind, I knew I was going to the NBA. It wasn't if, it was when. It was going to be after high school. It was going to be after my first year. It was going to be after my second year. At that point, that was the point where my mind shifted to oh no, it's going to happen. It's just when.
That's crazy. And you mentioned D. Gates. So for all my MIZ people and Cleveland State people, he was my coach. And he was his teammate. You grew up with him, played high school ball with him.
Since 7th grade, we bro.
Do you have any stories about him? Do you have what was it like hooping with him?
So for D. Gates to become a head coach, it makes perfect sense. Because I'm truly telling you the truth. When we were coming up, it was always myself, Cordell Henry, and D. Gates. We were the three, the core, from AAU to we went to the same high school and all of that. We were tight like that. And literally, it was times in high school, sophomore, junior year, where me and Cordell would be looking at D. Gates yo, bro, you gotta chill. Stan is the coach. You're not the coach. I'm literally.
That's textbook.
I'm telling you, it was true. It was true. It was so perfect that he became what he became because we butted heads and it's we high shots. You think we the stuff.
Yeah.
So it's the Gates would be the one trying to ground you. When you were All-American in high school, you don't want your teammate to ground you.
That's right.
And especially when you feel like you better than him. I'm looking at him bro, you gotta chill. I'll never forget. One game, I came off the bench because I had missed the game before for something. I come off the bench, we in Manly, this Red West, Chicago, West Side. I'm 43 off the bench. And me and D. Gates get into an all-out shouting match because you yelling. I'm bro, I'm telling him, I can remember telling bro, you can't talk to me like this when every school in America here to see me. And you out here checking me and chewing me out and giving my ass. I'm yo, no. We for real, but that's the epitome of why he's a successful coach because He didn't give a shit about nothing I was talking about, oh, you think you did, like, no. When he saw A, B, or C happening wrong, he was gonna address it. And that was the accountability that came with D. Gates. He's always been this person. I don't know how he was more mature than us at this point, but he was. And that's why I say, in retrospect, it makes perfect sense that he became who he has become, because his discipline. He went to college and graduated in 3 years. We didn't see him. We didn't see him for the summer. Everybody came home. He graduated in 3 years, then went and played his senior year as a grad student and got 2 more degrees. And then made the wise decision where people would have chased it and went overseas and tried to be whatever. He said, no, he came to LA with me and said, I want to coach. I'm a coach and this is what I'm going to do. So he met with George Raveling every week for the whole season. You get through. He made the Clippers coaching staff, and then he went from there, and the rest is history. All the stops he made, everywhere he went, he did his thing. And that's just who D. Gates has become to be. And like I say, in retrospect, watching him as a youngin', it's who he was. It's who he always been.
I can tell. Shout out Coach Gates. Best coach in the country.
Straight up.
In my opinion.
Straight up. Mine and yours, too.
Yep, sure.
I agree.
The new Sternberg Scoop t-shirt is finally out now. For only $29.99, you can look insanely fresh. You can wear it to the basketball court, to the club, to your little cousin's choir concert, and even to your grandma's bingo game if you want. When you get your dream girl, don't say thank you, just say, good job shirt. Contact us by DM at the Sternberg Scoop on Instagram. Again, at Sternberg Scoop on Instagram. Tap in today. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
You stayed in the city. You went to DePaul for 2 years. You averaged like 17 and 12. It was crazy. But the craziest thing is you were on the cover of ESPN in college.
Word. That was unreal. I didn't know that was gonna happen when it happened. When we did the photo shoot, it wasn't determined that I was gonna be the cover guy at the time. They were just like I was gonna be one of the featured. And when the word came back that I was gonna be the cover, like at that point I hadn't had a cover. Especially as significant as that. That's ESPN, the magazine.
That's crazy.
And it was like cover boy and like, you gotta understand at that time, ESPN, the restaurants were out. And we had a big one downtown Chicago, ESPN Zone or whatever. Bro, they flooded, like they had flags down the street with my face on it. The covers of the outside of the restaurant was that cover. It was crazy. Like, I remember going to take pictures and the whole city just being like, it was crazy. It was like, at that point, MJ had retired. So it literally, the Bulls had Elton Brand as a rookie, but like in the start of it, like that preseason, it was like, yeah, he's supposed, but he didn't get the same love I got because I was a Chicago native. And it was like, me, Bobby, and Lance was trying to bring back the Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummings, and that whole, and they was buying it because MJ had just retired. The Bulls had broken up. So it was literally the biggest thing in Chicago at that point was Sammy Sosa, because him and McGuire was battling for the home run thing. It was Sammy Sosa than us.
That's crazy.
That's true story. And so for that to come out like that, I'll never forget the vibe I had. I felt like I was the king of the city, for real. Like truly, I felt like I was the king of the city.
And it's a big city too. It's like, it's not.
Sammy Sosa from the Dominican Republic, bro. He played baseball. That ain't had nothing to do with my demographic. When it came to hoops, me and my teammates at DePaul, Bobby Simmons and Lance Williams, we was the toast of the town.
I can't even imagine that.
True story. Me, Lance Williams, and Bobby Simmons was the toast of the town.
That's crazy.
We felt like we ran that motherfucker.
Yeah, and like, so like with NIL, like NIL wasn't a thing back then.
I wish.
So what do you?
We wish.
What brands do you think you would have reached out to?
I wouldn't have reached out to anybody. At that point, I would have literally got whoever was the best to represent me, and they would have did everything. But like just off what happened, off the evidence of what happened, I got 1 billion tip-ins as a player. I was a quick offensive rebound. They had people, you can Google it. It was Q-tips in the crowd because they called me Q and I tipped in. So like that right there was a shoe-in as an NIL because you had people that made that up on their own. Fans came to the game with oversized Q-tips and was waving them in the air. You can Google it. So like that's a no-brainer right there. Just my name, Q-tip, I tip in, all of that.
That's crazy.
The fans started it before. Nobody made it. The fans did it. So like, those type of things. I just feel like the fact that I'm a Chicagoland product. I went to a Chicago public school for grade school and high school. Whitney Young And then everything is Chicago. So I'm synonymous with Chicago. Not only myself, Bobby and Lance too. I feel like all of us would have killed it if that existed then.
Yeah, you
literally.
You think you would have touched a Millie?
Whatever. I feel like I would have done as well as anybody because I was a top 5 recruit. I would have been considered as 5-star, whatever. I could have went anywhere in the country. The fact that I stayed home, it would have been different.
Is it true that like before the draft you didn't want to play for the Clippers?
No, not at all. Me or D Miles, neither of us worked out for the Clippers, and neither did Keon Dooling because at that point, the Clippers weren't re-signing their players, and obviously your agents and you as a player, you want to go somewhere where when you go there, you can extend with that team and have a future. Yeah. And that wasn't the situation that was par for the course for the Clippers. They didn't have any of that going on, and so my agents and all of us, we decided not to work out for them and not to do anything. And to the way the world worked, we both get drafted by it. It was there and it happened, and it was. To me, I still feel like it was I'm a believer in things happening the way they're supposed to happen. 100%. So that was what it was supposed to be, and the history is what it is, and here we are.
100%. And like, so obviously, like, it switched your mind when D Miles got drafted. You're like, that's my boy. And now we're about to go play in LA.
Listen, I was pissed at the draft.
Oh, still?
No, not still, but like during the draft, I thought it was going to be a lottery pick. So you got to think, Gary's got picked at 3. Yeah. I thought I was going to get picked somewhere between 3 and 10 behind him. And to go 18, by the time we got there, I'm just like, I'm through with it all. And then my agent comes to me like, hey, there's a chance that you can go to the Clippers. So for me, that was like what revitalized everything for me. Like, oh, shit, I can play with my boy. Like, oh, okay, 100%. Well, this would at least makes it a little bit worth it going way down here because now at least I get to go and be with my best friend.
Yeah, 100%.
So for me, that was I guess saving everything for me because that made me and my family be revitalized by the whole lack of being drafted when we thought we should have, to the fact like, okay. And while I'm walking across the stage court, we make a trade and get Corey McGetty to the team, somebody else who I knew since 6th grade. So it's like, okay, now at least I'm going out here with some people that I'm truly genuine friends with. I don't have to get to know. I know these guys, and I know that we're gonna already be on the same page.
That's crazy. It's funny because I've heard so many stories about you guys, and like you said, it was kind of like a shaky organization, and like I remember hearing how you guys practice at a JUCO and like in the hood.
Literally, South Central LA, Southwest LA Junior College. Like no lie, we couldn't even take showers.
I heard the story about Alao Candy pulling up in his Aston Martin.
Yeah, Aston Martin, they running up. Hey, what's good, yo? Like all of that every day. We leave practice, we putting towels on our seats in the cars to go home. Like you can't take showers, bro.
In the league, that's crazy. Like in the league, and especially like. But it's funny though because you guys were probably like y'all starting 5 were probably younger than the JUCO team, right?
The youngest team in the history of the NBA at that point.
That JUCO team was probably older than you guys.
Possibly, it was definitely for a fact. I can't say nothing about Southwest JUCO as a JUCO being older than us, but there were it was 100% fact that there were some college teams out there that averaged for the team average they were older than us. At that point, that was the way it was, and like it wasn't kids going out of high school. It wasn't a lot of one and done. Like Corey McGetty was the first one and done in Duke history at that point. Yep. So you know what I'm saying? You couple all those things that we were the youngest team.
Yeah.
LO went one and done. Me and Keon went 2 years, but we were a young 19. We had the late birthday, so we weren't even like on the old side. We weren't 20. We got drafted as 19-year-olds. All of us, we had 4 19-year-olds and one 18-year-old in Darius. We were the youngest in the history of the league at that point.
In the league, which is
we had teammates that had kids our age. That's no longer ever happening.
No. Never.
Everybody's 20, 19. The OGs are 23, 24.
For real. And that's my age. Do you have like a story about Mike that maybe you haven't told or nobody knows?